When we're talking about riding your state throughout the day, surfing your state, there's a key point here which we really need to emphasize and understand deeply. And that this work is not about being in a perfect state all of the time. That's not what this is about. Because although we can spend far more of our time in a really kind of open, present, peaceful, empowered state, the reality is that we have this human body, it's this incredibly sensitive mechanism and vessel that we abide in, and it's complex. Okay, we don't handle any of the complexity, the subconscious mind handles all of that for us, millions of processes. But the point is, it's complex, it needs rest, it needs nourishment, it needs movement, and it needs space and stillness. And what this means basically is that our state is going to change and fluctuate throughout the day and throughout the week and throughout our life. So one of the biggest keys that we can possibly come into here is just recognizing that it's okay to be in a lower state. It's completely okay, because what tends to happen is we get into these, we'll have a couple of days or maybe even a week or whatever it may be of this like flow, where we're just flowing through life and everything feels ascendant and it feels easy, we connect deeply and we just think, fuck, yes, I've got it. And then something happens. Maybe we just sort of start slipping out of our practices a little bit. You know, the ego plays some dirty trick on us, because it will try every dirty trick in the book to bring you back to familiar misery, and that's okay, it's not personal. The ego is an impersonal, completely innocent survival mechanism. The only time it causes trouble is when you believe it's you. If you're observing it, it ain't a problem. So, point being is it will, you know, we come back in, whatever the reason is, we come back into these lower states, and we know what that feels like. It's the resistance in the chest, it's a heaviness, it's a dullness. It's just a sense of not really feeling very good or very connected to life. And that very often manifests as that sort of closed off sensation in the heart center, in the chest, disease, sort of restlessness, anxiety. So here's the big trick with this, guys. Don't try and change it, because what you'll find is those are the times where you will be in maximum resistance, and that can start up this voice in your head which says, oh, you're not doing the practices right, or the practices don't work, or, you know, fuck all of this, or I'm an idiot. You know, it's self-critical, there's blame, there's judgment. That's the voice, it's the ego. We just want to see it for what it is and know it for what it is. It's a silly remnant voice, it's out for its own survival, and it's not really helping us, and it's usually the voices of our mother and father. Point being is we don't need to honor that voice in these moments. All that we need to do is completely accept where we are. And if it's a little bit uncomfortable, well, that's okay. And the analogy is, when we're swimming in a river, sometimes we have these really clear, smooth, just fucking beautiful parts of the river that we can sail down. And that is obviously ideal, we'd like to be in that. But that's not the reality of the river. Nor is it the reality of life. The reality of life in the river is that it has different sections and it's constant change. So sometimes when we come to the rapids, and we're sort of being battered around a bit and it's a bit uncomfortable, well, resistance is akin to trying to swim up against the rapids. Not only is it exhausting, it's impossible. So in these moments where your state is a little bit lower than you would like it to be, all you need to really do is do nothing and just go with the flow. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's not ideal, but what you resist persists, and the longer that you spend in those lower states, it's generally because there's been resistance there. Resistance to feeling your feelings, resistance to just being with it. Here's a big hint and a big tip. Come into spacious awareness, because generally our awareness will contract down around these unpleasant sensations, and it will create this sense of it being bigger than it really is. When we come back out into spacious awareness and just look at it from the outside in, then it's not so much of a problem at all. And in fact, we think, oh no, this is actually quite workable. One other thing that we can do, which is really powerful, is to do the heart coherence reset meditation. But we're not trying to do it from a place of trying to fix our state. We're just doing it from a place of, let's curiously see if this works. Let's see if I can work with this state. We always want to do it from this place of curiosity and lightness, guys. We never want to do it from this place of heaviness and like trying to fix ourselves, because that is just more resistance in disguise. So that's how you ride your state. Surf your state skillfully throughout the day. Don't get wound up if you are in a lower state. Accept it. Don't listen to the voices that come up in that state. They are complete nonsense. They only make you suffer. Come back into sensations, but observe those sensations from a place of spacious awareness. So you're looking outside in, from a spacious awareness in. And I'll put an image below to highlight what I mean here. And then finally you can do the heart coherence meditation. But the most important factor here is the acceptance.